Hey there, Wendy here with Jazzydoodledesigns, and today we're going to start my coloring pencil collection video. And I'm guessing this is going to be about 4 parts. So I've kind of broken my pencils down, because I have quite a few, into ultra budget, meaning under 40 cents a pencil, and then budget, which is like 40 to 60 cents a pencil, and then the 70 cents to $1 range, like the mid-range, and then over $1. So we'll call those the bougie pencils. Generally speaking, those are going to be the artist grade pencils. But that being said, I am going to briefly go over what I like and dislike about each set, and we'll look at their color palette and their properties, compare a little bit of core size, how the pencil, like how soft or creamy or hard, or does it layer or whatever. I have reviews for most pencils. I don't think I have them for all, but any that I'm missing, I'm happy to do a full review on them. But I am gonna start, there's 3 budget sets before we get like deep. Oh, while I'm also going to do a little fast color or a speed color using each one, so that when we look at the ultra budget, you can compare them, and I'll try and get colors that are similar as I can. So, but first I'm going to start with 3 pencils that I own that are no longer readily available. Okay, first up is the Brutfuner Squares. These were pretty popular when I first started coloring, and I really like this set. Now, I did find them on AliExpress. I did not look for them on Temu, but they are no longer on Amazon. And I know they're sold by different companies, because I bought mine and it was like Bajotin or something like that, like Bajotin was the company that I bought the square pencils. But square pencils are pretty uncommon, and there's no square pencils for sale on Amazon that I could find at this time. Now, I absolutely love the palette. I felt like it has a really good mix. I have used these a fair amount. They're really nice. They did come in a 72 and a 120, and they ran about 30 cents a pencil. They're an oil-based pencil, 3.3 core, smooth. Let me show you a picture that I colored using these. Okay, here it is. And this is in Symphony of Cute Animals by Kanoko Agusa. I really enjoy this book. There is a little bit of a wax shine you can see, but I did burnish this quite a bit. But I really like how it turned out, and I felt like the pencils were easy to work with. So let's take a peek at the pencil themselves. And I'm just doing this because you can get them on AliExpress, and I do feel like they're good pencils. They're a square barrel, hence the name. Brutfuner Aruba Blue, it says, and then this one is 056. Now, I do my own numbering system. If you're familiar with my channel, you'll know. If not, go back to the very oldest video, and you can see that how I do this, how I label these and all of that. But I really enjoy these pencils, and I do feel like it would be worth it to go to AliExpress and buy them, because for under 30 cents a pencil, they're pretty cheap. And that was the price on AliExpress So whatever, what is it, $36 for 120 with free ship. So I'm not unhappy to have these. I am sad to see them not on Amazon. Now, does that mean that they won't be on Amazon next week? They could be. Okay, next up is a set that I was extremely surprised to see missing from Amazon. It is the Woomer color pencils. I just bought these, or got these actually as a gift within the last 6 months. There's 72 pencils. Let's see. I did a full review, so there is a review on the channel of this. They come out to 42 cents a pencil. It was only a 72 set. It came in a red tin. The barrels matched the swatch. They were very pigmented. I felt like the palette was pretty balanced in terms of blues to reds to pinks. There are a few darks, there's a few lights, but not, it's a budget set of 72. I felt like it layered well. I felt like it blended okay. And it laid down fast pigment. So let's take a look at something I colored with these. Okay, this book is Nooner Therapy by Diane DeFore. And I colored this page. And I really had a lot of fun. There is a full color along on the channel. There is a full review. But I was very shocked that they were no longer available. Now, does this mean they're regrouping and they're going to come back out? Does it mean they just fell off the face of the earth? I have no idea, but I am happy I have these, and I am sorry that they're not available because they were going to be a pencil that was one of my recommendations for people just starting out. Okay, next up, and this will be the final one that's no longer available. And this is the Evazar London pencils. I am crushed that they're no longer available. I absolutely love this set. I like the palette very much. I like the fact that it's 130 pencils. I like that it came in this case, right? It came in its own little case. Here's what the pencils look like. They had their name and the number in, silver shiny, which I didn't love, but that's what colored pencils do. But anyway, I just felt like it was a phenomenal deal. Where's my card? So they worked out to 31 cents a pencil. And for a long time, these were available, and they ran about $45 to $35 depending. They often ran coupons. I just felt like these were a pencil that I reached for a lot. They had a good pigment lay down. It was a smooth lay down, and it really got dinged for no open stock and the number available, because you could either do 24 or 130. That was it. And now, of course, we can't find them. But this was often my travel set that I went with. And here is something that I colored using them. Okay, so that's it for the ones that you can't get. So now that I'm done teasing you, let's talk about what's available currently. Okay, first up is Artisto colored pencils. These come in a 72 for about $30, but right now they have a 20% 27% off coupon, which brings them down to $18.90. So they're 26 cents a pencil. Now, they don't have any open stock. They have a 3.8 millimeter barrel, and they are a soft pencil. Now, I do have a full review on the channel that you can take a look at. I rank these pencils really well. Now, not on sale. They're probably more in the, what did I call it, the mid-budget, or this is the ultra budget, and then we'll just call it budget. So they fall somewhere between ultra budget and budget, depending on if they're running that sale. But every time I've looked at these pencils, like to link them or something, they've always been on sale. So not sure if that's just part of their thing. But the palette to me is probably their bigger drawback in terms of, to me, these are a lot of samey colors. There's a lot of yellow, given that there's only 72. That being said, there's some beautiful colors. I absolutely love these neutral colors and real light colors. I do like that it does have light colors and some dark colors, and they really do work like a dream. So that being said, let's take a peek at how I have them. Artisto also has a set, let me back you out just a touch now, of watercolor pencils, which are also very nice. So here are the actual pencils themselves. These are the actual colored pencils. They have a hexagon barrel. They do have the name and the number on the pencil, which I like. I wish it was bigger and not kind of like that italic font, because while I can read it, I want to be able to have it slap me in the face. It has the brand name. It says Premium Soft. And, you know, these just beautiful laydown. Absolutely beautiful. So I do recommend these, especially as a beginner set if you're new to colored pencils or just wanting kind of an upgrade without breaking the bank, right? Now, the watercolor pencils look exactly the same. They say the same thing, but they have the water brush here. But they have the name kind of in the italic with the number. But they also have a very nice laydown, and they blend out beautifully. So this is a brand that I definitely recommend, especially for newer colorists. Now, the drawback to them is it only comes in 72. But between the watercolor and the regular ones, there's quite a few. So you could always do that. Okay, and I will be coloring here, but what else did I want to say about these? I know Coloring Bliss did she does those head-to-head competitions, and Artisto fared very well. In fact, I think it was her winner for budget pencils. So something to keep in mind, but I definitely really like these. Okay, before I color, I just wanted to show you, here is the watercolor palette, right, for the watercolor pencils. And this is also a really nice palette, but they blend out really nice. So here is a page that I did using just the colored pencils, not the watercolor. And then I know there's at least one, if not two, that I did. Here is one I did using the Artisto watercolor pencils, first as a watercolor pencil and then laying over the top just as a regular pencil for the detail. And I thought they worked very, very well. And then here is another one, just simply because they're in the same book and it was easy. But once again, just using them first as a watercolor, like as a base, and then going over the top with them as a pencil. And so I thought it worked really well. Okay, so let's take a look. You saw how it just really laid down smoothly. These have a really creamy feel. Not smushy like a Prisma, but soft. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a ChromaFlow feel, just that glides over the paper. They are a little bit crummy, but not ridiculously so, but you can see we definitely have some crumbs. But I really enjoy working with these pencils. Okay, next up is Crayola. I am basically doing all of these in alphabetical order based on what category they fall in. So these are the Ultra Budget by category. So Crayola comes in a 12, 24, 100, and 120, with the 120 set costing $20.50 at the time of this recording. Don't come at me if you're seeing this 4 years from now. Which equates to about 17 cents a pencil, which is phenomenal. They are a wax-based pencil, 3.4 millimeter core. It's a round pencil and it has a very firm point. So let me grab those. Let's talk about the palette first. Look at the beautiful colors you get. Absolutely stunning. Just a wild amount of colors. It's kind of uniform, right? So you got your red oranges in a whole line, your yellow greens in a whole line, a full set of greens, a full set of blues, full set of purples, full set of pinks, full set of peach browns, and then more browns here, very few grays. So if you're someone that doesn't use a lot of gray, then maybe that doesn't bother you. I personally use gray a fair amount, both as an underlayer or to tone things back sometimes. And, you know, nobody beats Prisma when it comes to the grays. But I gotta say, Crayola, these are beautiful. The palette is stunning. Crayola is fantastic if you're someone that really likes to layer and take your time, because this is a pencil that you need to layer in order to get the vibrancy you see here. This is me using a fair amount of pressure to get that vibrancy. Now, I am not trying to diss Crayola. Okay, many people really enjoy using Crayola. I am just not one of them. I'm an impatient person. I want a fast laydown. I like to work quickly. My good friend likes to work slowly and finds it very relaxing to spend hours on a sky. And I love that and I envy that. That's just not me. So I do find Crayolas to be a little on the challenging side. But let's take a look at the pencils themselves. I personally keep almost all of my pencils in cases, just because I'm not a big fan of having tins all over. Okay, so the pencil themselves, like I said, is round. it says the name, and it also says it in another language. Not sure what other language, but it's written 3 times. So let's pick one that isn't indigo, because indigo's the same in most languages. Okay, so this one's Pale Rose, and then Rosado Palata, and Rose Pale. So my guess is maybe French and Spanish. Crapshoot, yes. But anyway, that's kind of nice. They all write it in the stupid gold foiling italic fancy like that makes it hard to read. But the thing I will comment on is Crayola is kind of notorious for this. So look at this color here. Look at the color of the pencil lead. And then let's look at what color this is. This is 75. It's this color. So it matches the tip. That does not match whatsoever, right? Let me zoom you in. That is not that color. Okay, I just picked one at random, but you can see, here's another one, 76. This one, I guess maybe matches the tip, does not match the barrel. So you definitely need to swatch these out. Now, I swatch out everything for this reason. Also, I find it fun to do because it's mindless, y'all. Like, this is my zone out while I'm watching TV and do this because it is simply, I don't have to make any decisions. I just have to lay them all out and look at the beautiful outcome. Okay, but Crayola, let me show you a page I did with this one. Okay, this book is Garden Gnomes by Teresa Goodrich, or Teresa. Apologies if I mispronounced it. And I did this page. And I was quite surprised with how vibrant they really did turn out. And I like how this page turned out. I was rather surprised. I did not go back in with a blender pen or anything like that and smooth out my colored pencil lines. That is something, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It really just depends on my mood at the time. But other than the Crayola, I used a little Posca pen and that was it. But, you know, I did like the Crayola on the Amazon paper more than I like it on, say, really slick, smooth paper. But you won't see a whole lot from me in Crayola. But I do want to show you. Do I have everything I own in front of me right now? Or out? Yes, I do. Does it make it hard to find stuff? Yes. Yes, it does. I did one in here with Crayola. One moment. You guys are probably going to see this book a lot because I've used almost every pencil set in it. See the difference here? How, I'll try and change the lighting a little bit. It's just not super vibrant. This page is that slick kind of paper. But you can see here, like, the difference in the vibrancy, right? It just, night and day, right? I mean, even when it's light colors, it just really doesn't perform super well on that kind of paper. So paper with a tooth definitely helps these. So that's Crayola. The other thing I want to point out is I was trying to kind of match the colors I did for the other one. Look at this. It's green, olive, and forest green. Okay, never mind. Okay, did you all catch that I was on the wrong line? I'm leaving this in because y'all know I'm an idiot. Okay, so I guess we're going to be using Unmellow yellow, and mango. I was like, how can they even get forest green out of that? All right, Wendy, you're an idiot. And then let's see, we had kind of a brighter green. So let's do sky blue. No, I need to fix this chart for myself. I'm going to use this yellow green. And I think I'll just go ahead and use this forest green right next to it. They're not an exact match. And then I'll pull, for the brown, I think I will do, maybe I'll do this light brown and the dark chocolate for the center. Oh, I hope you guys have a good chuckle on me. Okay, y'all. So you can see the difference in the two already. Now, some of that is, not every set of pencils is going to have the exact same colors. So I'm doing my best to pick similar colors. That being said, I hope you can see the difference, not as much in the results as in how it lays down. Like how much lays down at a time. And how often do you have to go over it and that kind of stuff. What people like is very, very subjective. So these are my opinions. I'm just trying to show you my thoughts. Okay, next up is Kalour. Now, I should have said this with Brutfuner too. Brutfuner has a lot of different pencils and pencil lines. So they have a round pencil and a black barrel pencil and all the different things, pastel pencils. I was just showcasing the only ones I own, which is the Brutfuner Squares. So the Kalour that I own are the Kalour 120. Ignore the fact that it says watercolor. This is just me making my own charts. And I often use, a template. So let's take a look at the Kalour. The ones I bought are these. They come in this case. Love this, right? I like ones that come with their own case, and I like the little square compact cases. These are great for travel. Now, at first glance, these seem a lot like the Evazar London, and maybe they are. These don't have the same names and numbers and that kind of stuff as the Evazar London, because I did test them, but they do have a similar feel, which makes me think, like most budget, especially ultra budget, they're often what are called whitelisted, meaning, let's imagine that Betsy makes cookies. Betsy gives Bob a dozen cookies. She also gives Amy a dozen cookies. Now, Bob goes out and sells his cookies called Bob's Cookies. Amy goes out and sells her cookies as Amy's cookies. So Betsy's also selling cookies under her name, so now there's Betsy's cookies. They're all the same cookies. The problem is that the consumer thinks that Betsy, Bob, and Amy all are different cookies, and so buys a dozen of each, not knowing they're getting the same thing. Now, Bob's cookies might have a few more blue cookies, and Amy's might have a couple extra purples, and Betsy's have a little more pinks, but the actual recipe is the same cookie. this is what's happening with colored pencils in the ultra budget and budget lines. Once you start getting up into your mid ranges and your bougie pencils, or the artist grade pencils, as they're popularly known as, you're not going to find this. Hope that's helpful. Now back to Crayola. Get you zoomed in. So it is a round barrel. Let's see what I've written down. It comes in a 72, 120, 240. There may be a 3 something, and then there's a 520, I know. The 120 set with the case runs about $28, and so that makes it about 23 cents a pencil. There's no open stock. They are a smooth, soft laydown, 3.5 wax round barrel. I find these pencils to be very nice. They do have a light fast rating on them, which I don't believe for 1 minute. I guess it depends on what their definition of light fast is. With these ultra budget pencils, they are not going to be what is typically known as light fast. But they do have the name, which is larger written. It is in shiny silver, which is a pain. This is almost illegible, but it does say 025. But it's like the number is removed from the silver foil. And they're a nice looking pencil. They feel good in the hand. But, you know, legibility is crap. Which, to be fair, I don't really mind, because I swatch them all out on my chart and give them my own number, and that's how I find them. 100%. I'm doing a project, so like I'm going to be coloring the flower, right? So I would be like, okay, I need 6, 7, and 8, and then I want 106 and 108, and for the green, I want 80 and this one, and 99. Let's just, maybe we'll go 80, 97, and 99. But that's how I do it. And then when I put them back, it's just as easy. So I don't really care too much about that, but I like to point it out for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and, oh, let me show you a page that I colored with them. I colored one in Garden Gnomes, so we'll take a look at that. Oh, I hate when I do videos like this where I have so much stuff. Okay, I did this one. I love the whimsy of this. Once again, I did not burnish out the white dots from the colored pencil. This is something that you can do or not do. Your choice. Would it look better if I did it? Yes. Am I often lazy and don't do it? Also, yes. But we can't fault the pencils for that, because I guarantee if I were to come in and blend this out, see, look how nice that looks. Should I do that? Probably. But anyway, that's a page I did with the Kalour pencils. Getting back to the palette, I think it's a decent palette. My frustration, there's a lot of blues, right? But from here to here, virtually the same blue. Granted, they're a little different, but I like blues where it goes light, medium, dark, right? And not this, like, whatever this is. Same with everything. Like, there isn't a huge range here. This is light, this is dark. These three are pretty similar. So that's my frustration, is you have hundreds of colors to choose from. Why are we picking 3 greens this similar? Why are we picking 3, blues that are the same values, right? Like, look at that. If you just look at this at a distance, they're very almost non-distinguishable. So that is my frustration. Same with up here. And I think I do. No, I guess I didn't do a review on these pencils. But, at the same time, what did I say? They're 23 cents a pencil and you get a case and you get 120 pencils. I'm not really complaining because it's a good value. It's just, to me, that's what sets a good palette apart. So let's go ahead and I'm going to color and we'll go from there. Okay, next up is Markart. Let's see what I had to say here. So the Markart comes in a set of 72. As of today, it was $15.99. So that's 22 cents a pencil. Now, this is the 120 set. They no longer, as far as I can find, when I tried to go to the Markart store in Amazon, it took me to something called Colour, which I don't know if that's the same store or not. But they're currently only selling 72 pencils. It does not say out of stock. It just doesn't exist. So, not sure. I even went back into my orders and found my order and clicked on it, like if you wanted to reorder it, and the link takes me to the 72 set. So I'm not sure what that means. This is a set that I definitely would have recommended because 1, they're ultra budget. 2, they're a smooth, kind of almost like a Kalour kind of pencil. They're oil-based. They have a 3.9-inch core. There is no open stock, which you're not going to find open stock until we get into the bougie and the mid-range kind of pencils. But let's just grab this nice black one. It says made in China. It says expert, number 28. But here it says painting, colored pencil, M8606. So they don't have the name on them. But I mean, as far as pencils go, I thought these were a really good value. I liked how they felt. If you look, though, they look extremely similar to the last pencils that we used. And to me, they feel similar. So let's take a look at the color range. And we've got those same kind of colors as we did like for Evazar London. So I think that these all kind of came from a similar company. And this is probably one of the biggest downsides to buying ultra budget pencils, is because they're whitelisted, people are selling them to make a buck, right? They go in, the company buys some pencils, and then they sell them till they're out of stock. When you purchase something like Prismacolor or Polychromos, yes, you pay a little bit more, but when you want to replace them, whether it's you're replacing an entire set or just a few pencils, they're available. I was shocked to see, like Woomer, they're not even a year old. I want to say I got those about October, November-ish. I'd have to look. But I know I got the Nooners book in October for my birthday. So I know for a fact that when I got the Woomer pencils, I had just gotten that book because it was the second or third picture that I colored in there. So for them to literally not be available 4 months later is a part of the ultra budget game. But I also understand that sometimes this is all you can afford. Just know that this is a risk that you take if you purchase something like this. If you really love something and this is all you can afford, then I highly recommend trying to buy another set as soon as possible so that you don't lose out on it. But I would say Markart, Evazar London, and the Kalour are all very, very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and color because I really don't have much more to say. I like this palette. It's a pretty decent, blend of all the different colors. Yeah. So let's color. Okay, before I get started, let me show you a page that I just recently colored with these pencils. It is in the Fairy Tales by Emily Lyda Hall Oberg, and I colored this page. Now this has not been released on the channel yet, so you're getting a sneaky peek. This is a group buddy color that I'm doing, where every month they pick a different page from this book, and we color it. So this is the page that I colored. Probably not my best work, but I don't necessarily feel like it's the fault of the pencils. Sometimes you're just not, I don't know, maybe not in the mood as much. Now, I will say I did put a little bling on there. Hopefully you can see it. It's very iridescent, or it's very subtle, like around the flowers, and a little bit on these. Okay. Okay, so you can see it's very, very similar to like this one and this one. The Crayola is just a little bit different. It just has a, I mean, forget the colors, but like, I don't know how to explain it. These seem richer to me. Okay, next up is Soucolour. Now, Soucolour comes in a 72 and a 180 set. The 180 set is $46. That makes them 25 cents a pencil. So this is another ultra budget set. Bear in mind they also have a $5 coupon. So that would bring it down a little bit. They have a 3.5 millimeter core. It's round, and I find them to be smooth and soft. Now, let's take a look. Here's how the pencils are. They are the black barrel. You will see these a lot. Kalour has some that look like this. Brutfuner has some. There's a lot of pencils that have this, right? Let me zoom in to the pencil. There is a full review on the channel. So, black barrel, they're a little lightweight. It says pastel pink, 126. And I think it says Soucolour underneath there. Let's take a look at my review. Now, this is another brand that I think also gets whitelisted. or another pencil. I don't know if Soucolour. I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but here's the review I did them. The names don't match the colors is a note that I wrote, and I think it's because you know, like this is nude. This orange color. You know, they're just, you know, to me this is more apple green than this one. These are kind of, this is mint. To me, that's not a mint kind of color. This is aquamarine. I don't feel like that's an aquamarine. That being said, once again, I use the numbers more than I use the names and stuff. So I'm not too awful worried about that. Otherwise, I enjoy using these pencils. And if you're new and you don't have any pencils, I think this is a phenomenal value because you get 180 pencils. Now, this from 169 to 80, so what is that, 11 pencils, are all metallics. And are they really? If you turn it in the light just right, you will get just a hint of glitter. I don't find them to be very metallic at all. Oh, excuse me. Nor do I find that very helpful because I can use things like Wink Stella that does a better job. But overall, I do really like it. I like the colors that are available. I like that you get, even at 168 colors, you're still getting a lot of colors. This isn't 72, you know? It's twice as many pencils, which I really love. Let me find something I colored with them. Okay, here's a page I colored using the Soucolors. And you can tell, like, it's very vibrant and bright. This paper is trash, and it did really well with it. Overall, I do recommend these pencils if you're in the market for an ultra budget pencil. Okay, now, as of right now, they're still on the market, and you can still get all the different ones. So let's do a little coloring. If you want the full review, I'm going to link a playlist to all the reviews. It'll just have all my reviews, so you have to kind of wade through that a little bit to find the one you're looking for. Okay, so I would label the Soucolour very soft. I really like, do you see how I can still get some lines here where I struggled a little bit more with this one? And it could just be the pencils, colors, not the pencils themselves, but the colors that I used. I felt like there was enough contrast between this one and this one that I should have gotten more lines. But, you know, is there a humongous difference? Let me see, I've got one more, and then we'll talk about overall. Okay, so I would label this set as being very soft. They feel a lot like the Artisto to me, even though they don't look the same. I like the color palette. I'm sorry, I already put it back in the plastic. There isn't a whole lot to critique when you're paying 23 cents a pencil. When you have 180, the fact that there's some sameys, yeah, do I wish that this entire line wasn't the same? Yeah, I do. But that being said, there's 180 pencils to choose from, so I do have some lighter ones I can pair it with. Do I think they could have done a better job? Yes. So that would be my critique. As far as, like I said, I can't really complain too much at 23 cents a pencil. When you're paying $2.23 a pencil for some of the bougie brands, or $1.23 a pencil, then you can start complaining more about things like that. But overall, I feel like there's enough variety of colors in here that I could do and have done pictures with them easily. Okay, next up is my Star Joy Gold colored pencils. Now there's 120 in this set. They also come in a 72 set. They run $26, so that's 22 cents a pencil. They do offer a 5% coupon, at least at the time of this filming. It's a 3.8 millimeter round pencil core. It's an oil-based pencil. I consider it smooth and firm. This was designed by Color My World. I believe was a big part, like her followers and stuff got to help choose the colors and name the colors. So it's a nice curated set. I like the palette very much, and they purposely did not put a white in this pencil because there are better whites out there than budget whites, like budget pencil whites, and so they just didn't want to waste a pencil on that. So likely there is no metallics as well. So the thing that makes these unique is when you buy them, they are put together to where they're in groups that go together, like blending groups. So you can see the names here. So this is 13YO, which is yellow orange, and then 17 orange yellow. So I put these in my groups. They have them in their groups. So, but it's designed to help somebody figure out what colors go together. So, they come with their own swatch sheet, which I'm sorry, I love y'all, but I am not going to go dig out all of my tins and different things like that to show you guys. I did a full review on the channel, and so I did show it at that time. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. I gave it a very nice rating. I felt like the browns were lacking and no cool grays is what I said here. Basically, what's true of all budget pencils, they're not open stock. The barrels don't match the swatch. They are very pigmented though. Let's take a look at the pencils. As always, I have them in their own pencil case. So they are a nice looking pencil. They say Star Joy Gold. They have a gold dipped end. They have the name at the very bottom, which I like. It's in black, which I like. So this one's called Blue Whale. Right? Now there's no number on this one, just the name. And for the most part, a lot of times I covered up the name. So they are on the swatch sheet though. But then I just have them, you know, in my order. So that is something. This is a set that I do recommend for beginning colorists. Because one, you can try out their system and see if it works for you. And then if you don't like it, you can create your own system like I did. Or you can use my system. This is a page that I did with the Star Joy Gold. And I did this back in June of 2024. So It's been a hot minute since I did it, but I think they work really well, especially given the smooth nature of these of this paper. So I enjoy using these. And at 22 cents a pencil, like, you just can't beat it, right? Now, once again, make sure you get yourself a white. So I always have a white, just like a Prismacolor white hanging out here on the side. I have a bunch of different whites because I have the Chinese Derwent drawing white, which is fantastic. I have a luminance white in there. I have a Caran d'Ache white. What's the other one? Holbein. Like, I carry a number of different whites just off to the side there. But let's go ahead and grab our colors and color up our flower. Okay, next up is this. I don't have a swatch sheet for these. I haven't really been using them. I picked these up at the dollar store, or like a Five Below or something like that, and they were $5 for 70. And that equates to like 7 cents a pencil. So let's just see how they do. Okay, so here are all of our pencils, and these are my thoughts having just colored all of these. There isn't a bad one. Now, you can critique my coloring, but as far as like, could you color a picture with any of these pencils? Absolutely you could. If I had to choose one out of all of these, I think I would probably choose the Soucolour. And the reason is because you get the 180 colors. As far as enjoyment of laying down, the Artisto, the Kalour, and the Soucolour are my favorite. Starjoy and Markart come next, and then Dollar Store and Crayola, to me, are very similar. I actually had to reach out, and maybe I just picked the wrong color from the get-go, and maybe I should have picked a darker color, but to me, I had to reach for an orange to get this yellowish color. The yellowish color should have been enough, but it really wasn't. I had to bump it up a little bit. Now, that being said, I mean, you really can't go wrong. These are all similar enough that they'll get the job done for you. And it really kind of goes down to what you enjoy. If you enjoy taking your time and doing a lot of layers, the Starjoy, Crayola, I think the Soucolour, I think they'll all layer nicely. So these are just my thoughts of the Ultra Budget. Now, next I'm going to review the pencils that are the next step up, and then I'll move on to the mid-range pencils, and then I will finish with what I call the bougie pencils, the luminance and the Holbeins, and those pencils that are more expensive. But there's definitely some keepers in here. I always like, as someone that has a channel, I keep these as a reference point to help people, because if they tell me what they have, then I can compare and let them know what's similar. So I think it's important to know what's out there in the market. As a general colorist, I would not get all of these. I would pick one out of this line, maybe two, if you have a really tight budget and can't bump into the next level as well. Then I would, maybe get these two. Or maybe get the Crayolas, because they're hard and they can really help you with the detail, and they have some really pretty colors. And then you can also substitute in one of these other pencils. I just know what I like to use myself. Okay, so in summary, guys, this is not a video where I'm going to tell you, well, definitely buy Soucolour, but don't buy Crayola. That is not what I'm saying at all. I'm telling you my opinions based on my experience and the way I color. Other people color totally different, and I know people that absolutely adore Crayola pencils. So what I hope to achieve is, by coloring, you can see how they lay down. How fast did the color go down? How crummy was it? How smooth did they blend? I didn't do a lot of blending. This is a very sketchy style of coloring for, for demonstration purposes only. So I'm just trying to show you, of the pencils I have, these are my ultra budget sets. If I was an average consumer, I probably wouldn't have any budget sets. Not because they aren't good, but simply because they don't have open stock. I am someone that tends to go through certain colors frequently, and if you do that in the budget sets, you have to buy a whole nother set. And that over time, that can be less cost effective. So that's something to consider when you're starting out. However, that being said, if you're brand new to colored pencils, no matter how great light fast pencils are or how great Holbeins are, I'm never going to recommend that you run out and buy those right away either. Make sure you enjoy the hobby. Make sure you enjoy colored pencils. There are many different ways to color with many different mediums. And but if you like colored pencils, then these kind of videos can help you determine which of these pencils is right for you, right? Because farmers don't need a convertible, and families of 4 don't need a convertible, but a single dude doesn't need a dually or a minivan, right? So, wild analogy, but it's very true with the pencils. So I hope you enjoy this series for what it is, and until next time, happy coloring. Thank you for watching another video from Jazzydoodledesigns. If you'd like even more Jazzydoodle and a little more snark, please check out the membership below. If you're looking for a community where you can share your work and chat with other fellow colorists in a safe and welcoming environment, hit the subscribe button to Jazzydoodledesigns, and then look for Jazzydoodledesigns Coloring Community on Facebook. And there you can join a group of fellow colorists to talk all things coloring and share cute pet pictures. I hope to see you there, and until next time, happy coloring.